Everyone, it's Yoshi100 here, and I'm here with the first episode of the Wombo versus Yoshi, or Yoshi versus Wombo, Puyo versus Tetris series. Basically, this goes the same way as the Yoshi versus OPM series. I record the matches weekly, and then I go commentate over them, so it's as simple as that. And that is basically how I'll do most of my series, likely. Because in the future, I'm planning to do more of these sorts of things, whether that be continuing to play Puyo versus Tetris, or if this is gonna be some or other sort of matchup, maybe some Puyo versus Puyo matches, maybe Tetris versus Tetris. We'll see what happens. But since that one's been quite successful, I thought, hey, let's bring in someone else. So I brought in Wombo. If you're unfamiliar with him, I'd be surprised. But he's one of the top Puyo Tetris. No, he's actually #1 right now. And yeah, hard drop member. Oh, I don't think I introduced OPM like this. That's so bad. Should've. Wow. I'm sorry, OPM, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for not giving you a proper introduction. That's just mean. Alright, so basically this will work the same way and everything. And if you've come here from the Yoshi vs OPM series, hello! Because at the end of that video, I said, hey, maybe you'll come over here after. But if you didn't, and this actually came fast, then you're gonna see what I'm talking about later. So anyway, let's get started already. First set, here we go. As you can see, Wombo will not be doing forward, mostly, probably, because of the fact that it's versus Puyo, so it's gonna be more T-spinny and stuff, but he's a very strong and very fast player, so he is definitely tough to fight against. Like, you can see now I'm already struggling, and without the right pieces I'm just going to die. But in this instance I was able to get this chain off, power 5, yet at this point Wombo already has this much built up, and unfortunately he's not able to go for his T-spin, and it's giving me time to do stuff, so his loss, my gain. There's a 3-chain from me. I didn't make enough use of the time he provided to me, so that was my mistake, I guess. Also, Garbage didn't want to fall in the 4th column, so I wasn't able to get to my purples. But it decided to fall in my 3rd column so that it could kill me right afterwards. So, haha, what a funny game. Mean Garbage. It's really mean. So here's Wombo. He's doing a DT cannon, as you can see here, quite obviously. If you guys are not familiar with the DT cannon, or maybe you didn't watch the Yoshi vs OPM series, maybe you weren't interested, but you want to see the versus Wombo series, I don't know. In that case, the DT cannon was the thing that he was doing there, and also very big combo. But I had a really nice counter build here. I'm very proud of myself for being able to pull this off. So there's a 5-chain. And now, Wombo's like, haha, I have so much built up for you, Yoshi. Hope you're prepared. And I was prepared. Woohoo! So, there's again, another nice counter build set off. 5-chain. But OPM's Garbage is nice. I'm so used to saying OPM now. It's Wombo. It's Wombo, the series. I'm sorry about the mistake, guys. Sorry. Sorry, Wombo. Alright, yeah, so he continues to just murder me because that's fun. Alright, there's a T-spin double setup and a Tetris, but he decides to opt for the Tetris. So there. And now I'm pretty much dead, so it doesn't matter what he does at this point, as long as he just doesn't give me enough, like, infinite time. I am dead. You can see that he's a very, very fast player. So it's tough to, keep up with his attacks. Compared to, like, OPM, where we're more even in terms of actually being able to keep up. You can see, like, Wombo's just smashing through and making sure that I have no time to do stuff. Although that time, he did build up quite a lot, which gave me time to do stuff. So yeah, I'm waiting for yellows. But Wombo's like, haha, I'm gonna kill you. And I die. So that's the first set. The main thing was the big counter builds that I had in the second round. I'm proud of that, but otherwise, it's Wombo just beating me up because that's always fun to watch. Because, you know, it's not always going to be the case for, you know, the Puyo player to be able to keep up. Sometimes it is actually very one-sided, like I've mentioned before. But, as I've also mentioned, the Puyo player can instantly win too, so it really just depends on the situation. So, Wombo with a T-spin double. Look at this fanciness! Jeez, Wombo. Not hesitating to pull all these fancy tricks on me, just like OPM. Just like OPM. However, the time that he used to do that allowed me to get this 8-chain off. So there's that. But then he's like, oh, Tetris, you're not killing me anytime soon. So I'm like, grrr, I have to go continue trying to beat you up. So here's a nice 4-chain. Let's power in the third link. But then he says, well, he misdrops. So that's definitely good for me. Except I'm not able to kill him yet, unfortunately, due to the fact that I don't have enough resources on my board. I think his plan was to turn that into a DT cannon, but he didn't have the right pieces in time, so that's unfortunate. It made his job impossible, really, because there was no way to really downstack out of that, so there's my win. Beep, 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 beep. Alright. Building on the right-hand side, as usual. Wombo going for... Well, I mean, I'm not sure. He might have been going for the PC setup that didn't, like, end up being a PC setup, but I don't know. So here, he goes for Tetris. And he's building up a lot. And since I'm not that used to, you know, being delayed in terms of garbage this much, because it seems like he's going more on a defensive route rather than an offensive route, which seems to serve him well in this case, because, you know, just having all these resources built up and making sure, as long as I don't set off like a super massive chain that he cannot keep up with, it's actually, that's actually a rather smart way of playing. Like, also, bad misdrop, I was meant to set off my chain and then I didn't, but luckily I was able to get my chain off anyway. So what I'm saying is, like, Wombo knows me as this player that's, like, generally building counter builds, right? But if I'm expecting him to send me garbage and he's not sending me garbage for ages, I just have to set off my chain eventually, right? So I do that. But the thing is, because I didn't actually take any of his garbage, he can use it to defend himself, which makes his life a lot easier, and mine a lot harder. So, very clever of him to kind of mix up his playstyle so that, you know, I'm just always on my toes and not 100% sure of what to expect. But now that I've picked that up, I'll be more alert about when he's doing so in future games. Although if Wombo, you watch this, then I guess you're also gonna realize, oh no, Yoshi's catching on to my place. I'm not sure if that's actually intentional, mixing up your playstyle, or if that's just the way you play naturally, but either way, it's good. Also, Wombo also brings in quite a few, like, double Tetrises and such, which is very effective when I'm in a position that, like, I can't build a counter build, right? Like, if I only have four rows available to me, I'm not going to be able to build a counter because the amount of garbage that's being sent is 4 rows, so, yeah, I don't know. So Wombo. Okay, here's a 3-wide build. Which isn't actually that effective, considering the fact that it's against a Puyo player, but yeah, he goes for it anyway. I go for a lot of power in my chain, which sends a lot of garbage, as you can see. And look at that. Luckily I had the right pieces for a nice counter build in time, but Wombo's garbage is too nice, I'd say. So that's being mean to me. But I guess me being able to build a counter build and him getting nice garbage kind of evens itself out. Kinda evens itself out. Just kinda. Also, my decisions right now are not very smart, as you can see. So if I die in this round, which I probably... No, okay, the game was nice and gave me green blues, so that I could actually survive. yeah, you know, sometimes that's just the game. Game's like, hey, here, let's keep this game going for a little longer. We'll just not kill you for a little bit, and I'm like, hey, thanks, game. Okay, part 4. Wombo going for a triple double, very smart, and also very threatening because now he's making very good use of his garbage, which means death for me. Pretty much, to sum it up, that just means death for me. Hooray! More win for him and more death for me. I mean, I've had enough of death today. My 400 and whatever score was alright. Those of you in the stream would know what I'm talking about. Although I guess it wouldn't be today, technically, since it's upload. I'm not sure how long it will take, so yeah. Alright, there's that. Yep, Tetris. See what I mean, though? Like, the problem that I have when playing against Wombo is that he just so often he has things just ready to go. Like he has a whole Tetris build ready to go by the time I've built up like not even that much stuff, and that just it makes it a lot more troublesome to deal with than Tetris players who aren't as fast and as such aren't able to build up these builds as quickly as you know Wombo can. But anyway, Wombo's making his way down. Bit more down stack comboing. And now, margin time's definitely kicking in. Look at that 3 chain, sending that much garbage. But you can see that everything's been buffed up by 1 now, or not? No, not yet. Looks like it hasn't affected Tetris too much yet. But I'm not having too much trouble keeping up with stuff, so that's definitely margin time helping me. So, here's a nice build. And unfortunately, because of the fact that garbage, like margin time targets kicking in for him at that point, I wasn't anticipating that much garbage being sent to me. And as such, I wasn't able to keep up. But I'm not dead yet because 1 chain started doing lots of garbage, sending lots of garbage. So that's beneficial to me, I guess. And then I do an oopsie thing, because if I had put those 3 yellows on top of each other and then red on the 13th column, and taken that garbage, and then used the upcoming yellow, I would have survived that. For how much longer I would have survived, I'm not entirely sure, of course, but it would have at least kept me in the game for a little longer, so that was my mistake. See, I'm drawing out the mistakes now, that's the thing. That's another good thing about being able to go back and analyze these replays is I can find out what common errors I make, and perhaps I'll be more attentive of them the next time I play. So Wombo's been forced to set off a bit of stuff, and to start down stacking a bit because my chain was actually able to keep up with his combos and stuff. But yeah, he is surviving. He's very good at using his garbage as well. That's another thing. Alright, there's a T-spin set up. No T's for a while though, so makes it a little tough to deal with this. Alright, very nice 5 chain. And Wombo, unfortunately, is unable to stay alive during that moment. So that's my game. Alrighty, and now we go for the 3rd and final set. Surprise win, a great match, says the medals, or whatever you want to call them. Not really medals. They're more like badge. Yeah, I don't know what to call them. Tags? They're called tags, right? Not medals, badges. What am I talking about? Oh, so apparently this screen is swapped. Oh, beautiful. I'm on the right-hand side now, and Wombo's on the left-hand side. Not trippy at all. I think because, like, generally I'm the one who makes the room, and that's why I'm player 1, and that's why I'm on this side. Also, I'm very proud of how I did that. Another case of me being able to build a rather nice counter build when he had sent me a lot of garbage, so that was cool. And he doesn't have eyepieces, so you got to be careful when you're a Tetris player to not waste your eye pieces the way I do, because, you know, OPM's mentioned to me that I'm actually a big waster of eye pieces, so I definitely need to be careful of that. And be more mindful of the way I use my eyepieces, because if I'm wasting them, well, I'm not going to be able to keep up with the Puyo players, as Wombo was unable to in that case, as I die. Although, you know, now I am still dying. But Wombo gave me enough time to do stuff, so here's 3-chain. But Wombo's got his own T-spin set up, so, and he's being fancy as well, apparently. Not a problem for him at all. Look at this, he's just filling in all these gaps. It's like what I mentioned during the death stream. It's like those Japanese players who can completely mess up their stack in death and completely downstack it. Except in this case, it's during versus Puyo in SRS, in Puyo Puyo Tetris. And it's Wombo doing so, not some random Japanese player. So there's a very nice perfect clear. I stumbled a little bit, like, hearing the whole perfect clear side effect. I was like, oh no, it's a perfect clear, because I don't think I was watching his board at the time. Alright. So, where was I at? I think I rambled on about stuff that wasn't related all too much to the current match, but, you know, I kind of tend to do that during this series, at least in the earlier episodes, and then in later episodes I will be like, oh, as I've mentioned in a previous episode, this, so these kind of ramblings I think will help, at least, like, that's what I think when I'm rambling on about this. I'll be like, this is relevant information that will be helpful to those who are watching this. And in the background, you can have the game playing. Also, wow, the game is evil and blocked me in both of those places for the blue and the green, so I couldn't do much. Beautiful. Thanks, game. Game is so mean. Yes. Okay, so let's commentate this last round. Going on the right-hand side. Well, I mean last set, but you know what I mean. I mean, it might be the last round. I'm not sure, I don't remember. If it is, that's a pretty big coincidence, because I don't remember. Anyway. This is Wombo we're talking about. Wombo messes up a little bit, but he gets out of his messy situation quite easily. I set up a nice 6-chain, and Wombo not having too many problems with this at all. If that was higher up, he probably could have done a T-spin fin the same way I did. Oh yeah, Wombo's garbage is so nice. Lol, we haven't heard that story before. With any Tetris player, really. I'm not saying just you, Wombo, but like in general. His misdrops though end up making it very hard to get out of the situations, and considering the fact that I had a 6-chain ready for him. That was a nice 6-chain, eh? Alright, so he starts stacking slowly, but I don't let him survive with my 4-chain. And there's my set. Alright, so that'll do it for this first episode of the Yoshi vs. Wombo series. If you want to see this series continue as well, let me know, because, you know, being let known of the interest within a series is always a good way to let me know, okay, my audience wants to see this, or my audience doesn't want to see this, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, let me know. Even just liking the video is enough to let me know, oh, okay, people enjoy this. Okay, let's continue making the episodes. Either way, I probably will continue, because it's like, oh, one episode's really awkward. It's like, oh, one episode, oh, the series was long forgotten and never continued. And either way, I think it's also good personal benefit. And hey, for the few people, even if it's just one person who enjoys watching the series, I'll keep doing it. Because for the benefit of a single person, that's enough to motivate me to do such a thing. And I think Wombo said he enjoyed the matches too, so if you're watching now, thank you for the matches! And that's the same for OPM, because if he does end up watching this as well, thank you for the matches. Although I'll probably have to say that, you know, versus OPM series match episode, because who knows if he'll pop around here. Probably will though, knowing OPM. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. I'll see you in the next episode probably, or in a future stream, depending on what you see next. This will probably be what you see next. But who knows? Maybe you only watch my streams. And you randomly watched one of these? Absolutely not. Okay. Not making much sense at the moment, so I better go now. Alrighty. As always, I love you guys, and I'll see you all later. Or in the next episode. Or whatever. Okay. Bye-bye.